Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is December 29th. This Sunday. Almost there to the New Year's, guys. A couple more days. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, I want to address Mark because you, Mark, it sounds like you're trying to get a small engine repair business established, or you're at least kind of feeling it out to see if this is something that you want to do. Because I can tell you right now, it's not going to be easy. But stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, if you didn't already know it, and yes, this is the weekend. Today is Sunday, December 29th, 2024. So what are we going to be talking about today? Mark, you're bringing up some really good questions and things that can't be answered in a sentence or two. See, you're in the initial stages of yay or nay. Should I start up a repair business or not? And where? And how? That's going to take some research on your part. We're not in the startup phase. We're in the initial phase of trying to figure out whether it's feasible or not. And the best way to do it is to look around your area and see if there is a need, or the area that you plan on trying to set up shop. And how do you do that? Well, the first thing is assess your competition. They're going to be your partners if you watch my videos, but right now they're competition. All right? And how much work are they getting and how much work are they turning down? And I'll be honest with you, when we first started, we were getting work from the ones that were being turned down. That's how we got established. Is the other shops were not getting stuff in and out quickly. So what would end up happening is they have what they call, and I call, an overflow. Sorry about that. With the overflow, that means those customers that aren't getting their needs met. Simply put, right? So if you do a drive-by of your so-called AKA competition, future partners, look at how many machines are sitting out there that have yet to be repaired. Another way is to have somebody, even you, give them a call and ask them how long it would be if you dropped your lawnmower off to get it serviced in and out. And if they tell you they've got a waiting list and it's probably a week or two anyways, yeah, there's a possibility there for you. But it all takes research, demographics. Who are you going to try to go after? See, if you're in an affluent neighborhood where people's median income is up there pretty good, even during bad times, good chances are your work is going to remain steady, because you're so low on the totem pole of the big money going out that they're probably not even going to look at it. But now if you're in a middle class neighborhood where people are looking at their 401ks and they're watching them tank, they're going to pull back, right? And you'll be one of the first ones on the chopping block. And for good reason. I mean, and I get it. You know, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. And then if you're in a less than middle class neighborhood, ouch. Ouch. Because it's going to be feast or famine. So you needed to take a look and see what the area is. And that's not hard to do, to find out the demographics. You can find out how many people are living in that town or that city or what have you. And understanding from our point of view, are they more likely to have push mowers, or are they riders? Do they have, the snow sweepers? Do they have the snow blowers? It does matter, because when it comes to a push mower, I'll give you this example. When it comes to a push mower, you could knock 5, 6 out for every rider that you put out. Okay? Most mechanics can. Because what do you got? You got to drain the oil, new plug, new oil, sharpen the blades or replace them, and check your cables and tires and height. Push her out. Most machines that come in have got the height already set. Check the cables for any wear and tear on it. Check the wheels for any wear and tear on it. Check the blade. Change the oil. New plug. Out the door it goes. A rider takes quite a bit more time, right? Because you're doing so many more steps. But how much money are you making on the 5 to 6 push mowers compared to how much money you're going to make on a rider? That you need to figure out, okay? How many push mowers can I push out versus a rider? The closer you are towards the city, the more apt you're going to have push mowers, because most people have smaller yards, and this day and age, with battery coming in and electric already being here for some time, don't push them away. Because even the electric ones and the battery ones still have oil, blades, tires, cables. They still have everything but the actual engine, right? So you need to be versatile. And good chances are the established shops are going to do a pushback on the new technology. Why is that? It's because now they have to take the time to learn it. And if you don't learn it, if you're not willing to adapt and change, you're going to be left behind. Honest to God. If you're a business person and you can't see the writing on the wall and you don't make the right course corrections to stay with what's coming down the pipe, you're going to be out of business. May take a while, but you'll be out of business. But it goes back to, Jason is giving you great points too, where he says start out in your garage and work your way up. And he and I are dead on when it comes to keeping and having low debt. If you're going to try to do it in your area, okay? Now with us, we're in rural New York, so we're out in farm country. And the houses are very spread out. Actually, they're farms. But we get most of our work from the towns, okay? We have basically 3 or 4 towns around us. And that's where the work comes from. We also get it from the farmers, but most farmers fix their own stuff and service their own stuff. So we get it from your average working person, okay? And we're in that middle to lower middle. And yeah, there's been a pushback as far as, less work. It's feast or famine, they say. We have our regulars, and we also flip. So I'm buying and selling as well. One of the ways to get established is work out of your garage and buy used machines, fix them up, and throw them on Marketplace. Start bringing in revenue there. Are you going to be a one-man band, Mark? Or are you going to hire somebody? Because that is a big difference. And that means even hiring somebody for customer service, secretarial out front. Because that means you need to have X number of dollars coming through that door just for employee ease. And depending on how you set your business up, whether it's an LLC or a C Corp, S Corp, if you're doing it that way, let me advise you right now, put yourself on payroll. Yes, you're going to have payroll taxes and everything else, but at least you're paying into Social Security. You're paying into Medicare. You're paying into things that you're going to draw later in life, right? And maybe you're looking at this, Mark, I'm not sure how old you are, but you may be looking at this as a part-time adjunct to your retirement. And I've got friends that went into corrections in New York that after 20 years, they got their retirement. So they got their 20 years in, or 25, and went a different direction and either worked for somebody else or started their own business because they already had their retirement, and they also retained a lot of their insurance through the state. Each business is unique, and then there's similarities. My feeling on it is keep your debt low as possible. As far as taking on certain brands, I would hold off on that. I'm not telling you not to floor plan, but you need to have customers coming through that door in order to floor plan. And if you talk with a lot of dealers will tell you, well, if you don't floor plan, you don't get the traffic. And if you don't floor plan, you don't see the warranty work. But what they're not telling you is how many units are there stacked on their property that they have yet to bring in their last year's or older models. And you can simply do a drive-by again. I can tell how many crates are there. See, because they haven't gotten their spring orders yet. So drive by right now and take a look. And if you see a lot of models that are still in crates, that tells you that they're not selling. That's probably their profit. So they're breaking even, and their profit is sitting on those racks. And if they were talking to me, I'd say even if you had to take a little bit of a loss, clear them. Clear them out. Get rid of them so that there's no last year's models there. Unless it's a high-scale, four-wheel drive compact. They sell anyways. But everything else, clear it, because you want all those things gone before that new order comes in. Location, location, location. The better the location, probably the more expensive the location to try to buy something or rent or lease something. When first stepping out, one thing you're not going to have is a lot of income. You're going to have more going out than coming in because you're trying to get new customers. And you're going to start advertising. I advertised on Marketplace. I actually did a couple ads until AI got on there, and still getting work from a couple of those ads. Just saying, we do farm tractor repair, we do, small engine lawnmowers, push mowers, snow blowers. But I would have to say, once we did the initial push, we started to see past customers giving us the most business, word of mouth. They were See, because you're going to have, here's how customers break down in my thought process. You have the customers that are really thrilled. They will tell everybody. They're your best advertisers. You have your customers that are happy that everything is done, but they're not going to push you or anybody else. They may mention it if it's brought up, who being asked. And then you have your pissed. And they'll be your worst advertisers. They will tell everybody of how you royally screwed them. But in order to get those best customers, you're going to have to pound the pavement. And you can go to Vistaprint, get a bunch of business cards made up, and go door to door. You can make flyers, use your own, get a laser printer. Use Microsoft has publisher, the old publisher, but they've got the newer updated, of where you can make flyers. You just got to fold them, staple the business card to them. Vistaprint also makes flyers, and it may be cheaper to go that way. Don't cheapen it of where you're going for the free business cards, because the Vistaprint on the back of those cards is advertising, and that shows you're not putting in the time or money needed to grow your business. And it's going to be weekends and afternoons because most people work. So when's the best time to catch them? Is on the weekends or later in the afternoon. One of the things you could do is, if you wanted to do it earlier in the day, you could go around and just set it by their door where they can see it, and then at their leisure read it. Probably a lot of them are going to go right in the trash can. But another way is to talk with your local post office, USPS, and do a postcard. And they have bulk rates for those, and you can get the postcards like on Vistaprint, and then you pay the post office depending upon how many mailboxes they have per township, village, what have you. And they will guarantee that they will put one in each one, but you're going to pay that postage, which is actually going to be cheaper than a regular stamp. So don't go buying postcards and putting your regular stamps on it, because they will do it cheaper for you. You give them the postcards, and then they run it through a machine that prints out the postage on it, and off it goes. That's another way of reaching every person in that town. But you got to have the initial money to buy the postcards, and then the initial money to buy the postage to get those out, right? And you know that if it's like my house, a lot of that crap that shows up, I throw away. There are a few that I keep that, new businesses that, they opened a bottle redemption, and it worked for them by putting out a postcard, or I wouldn't have known they were there. And they're one of the very few up here that have the automatic counter. And on top of that, it's veteran owned if you're a veteran. On top of that, they came and got the bottles and cans from my house. Come to find out, it was a good friend of mine that had married, it was her husband. I had never met Mike. And they were great. Tracy's like, you're not going to be lifted on anything. We will come to you with our trailer and we will load them on. Just leave them where they're at. That is top-notch business. And you need to have that on those postcards. That one I kept because it was simple. Show what they had to offer, hours, phone number, and what they offered. Period. And I can tell you, simple sells. The more simplistic it is, getting to the point, the better off you are. So let's start rounding this out. It's a big topic. It's a super big topic. And I know I'm leaving stuff out. And Jason and Amos, Travis, all you guys, Pete, Steve, Randy, chime in. It's not a simple, I'm going to start a business and this is how I do it. Because each business is unique. Each business owner is different on how they approach things. I'm good with customers. I'm good with making people feel safe that they're leaving their lawnmower with us and we will do a good job because they know I'm not going to let that leave with my stamp on it unless it's top quality. And have there been a few of them that Claude got done and kicked out and I kicked back in? Absolutely. But there is a lot more of them that I go out there and I help Claude with, whether it's pressure washing, doing the little things to help him out, that we can get him out quicker. It's nice to have a two-man band. If you got somebody who's doing billing, customer service, and all that, it can also help out where I do the small stuff, the handhelds. It's a plus because for every employee you have, certain ones are going to be bringing the income in and certain ones are going to be taking the income out. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if you don't have a good mechanic, you're not going to have a good reputation of getting stuff done. If you're billing too much an hour, you're going to lose customers versus being reasonable. And that is demographics. You have to figure out where the median price point is for that service. And I mean, it changes from where you are. In our area, we're still at 55 an hour. We're at 40. We bumped it to 55 an hour and nobody's kicking. So I know other ones that are charging 120 plus. They got a lot of mouths to feed. And they're laying off the mechanics and staff because they're not selling stuff and they're not getting stuff to repair because of the way the economy is right now. Everybody is pulling back. Hopefully the new administration coming in is going to change that. I have high hopes on it because if not, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to keep doing this. Are we in the red? No. But we're not making a boatload of money either that we should be. But you aren't going to make that unless that medium middle class in our area to sub middle class are doing well. Location, location, location. You got to check out the area that you're looking at. You have to look at rent, lease, own. If you're going to own and you're buying a building, a facility to work out of, does it have what you need for bays to work on, floor for retail if you're going to do any retail, a clean place where people come in and out to pay the bills, drop stuff off and tell you what's the matter with it or what they think is the matter with it. And the one thing I'll advise to you is don't buy a piece of property that you can't get out from underneath pretty quick. You see the ideal location and you're looking at $100,000 and it's been on the market for a long time. It tells me that the $100,000 is high. And maybe that's what the owners are not willing to take a dime less. But if they sat on it quite a while, you're going to sit on it quite a while. So try the negotiation to where you can get that property for what you could sell it for quickly. And if that doesn't align the stars, look at other properties. Taking over a business that's already established. That's kind of, Amos can say something on that. And Jason too, I would imagine. But when you change the person at the helm, change the dynamics of the business. What I see when it comes to successful businesses continuing is they actually retain the owner for a year. And what do I mean? I mean, that owner stays on the books. They're no longer the owner. Now they're an employee per se. Or it's part of the package of buying their dealership and retaining the owner for a year to show them the ins and outs. But after that year, the dynamics can change too, right? Because now that person is not there for customers to see. And hopefully by then, they will have put their trust in you. Check your other dealers. See what kind of overflow they have. See how many machines they have on racks. If they got a lot of machines on racks, they aren't listening to the channel. Or they are and they're like, yeah, right. So on that note, you guys have a great Sunday. Keep up the good questions, Mark, and anybody else out there that, has questions. The only stupid question, guys, is the one that's not asked. I'm telling you right now, I know on certain boards, and I see this over on Facebook groups. If somebody asks the question and then they all go ape shit on him because it's like a stupid question that's been answered before. Not here. At the very least, I'll point you towards a video that I've already done that will answer that question. But I will not put you down, and neither will most of the crew here on this channel put you down for bringing up any question. So on that note, you guys have a great Sunday. As always, I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your family. On that note, we'll see you first thing tomorrow morning for the first day of the weekday, right? Monday.